Jake Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas.
This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5.
Mike Tyson's career has officially been knocked out cold, thanks to a court ruling that not only bans him from boxing forever, but also fines him on top of it all. And while the headlines are all about how he broke down after hearing the decision, let's not rush to feel too sorry for him just yet.
Many are upset over the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, with some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money.
This is the same guy who hyped himself up with those so-called training videos, where he went full beast mode, busting his coach's lip and cracking the ribs of sparring partners like it was nothing. But when it came to an actual fight against Jake Paul, Tyson looked like he was just there to stretch out the rounds for show.
Everyone is talking about how staged this fight was. I do believe it was scripted, and I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. Look, I'm a fighter and I can see it. It goes on the record and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record? For what? For your own personal satisfaction?
And sure, Jake's antics deserve their own chapter in this circus, but let's not lose focus. Tyson let us down. The fans who believed in him, cheered for him, thought he still had it. Now it's all official. Trust destroyed, career over.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight.
Interesting.
Script.
How so? What do you mean by
It's just
script?
weird. It's just
Like scripted in what way?
no, I don't know. I actually really like Jake Paul. It just seems so it's odd, bro.
The timing. It's a timing.
I mean,
He
it's
fights
obviously
two-
odd.
No, he fights two no names, beats them both.
But what exactly did he do to land himself in this mess? Let's get into it, because no one else seems brave enough to spill the real story.
The whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy. And we didn't like what we saw last.
Because this time, it wasn't about reclaiming titles or proving he was the undisputed king of boxing. No, on November 15th, 2024, it was about something deeper, or at least that's what we were led to believe. At 58 years old, Tyson wasn't just boxing, he was trying to convince the world, and maybe himself, that the fire of his glory days still burned. And the stage? A Netflix mega event billed as the fight of the decade. The opponent? Jake Paul. Yes, a guy who used to prank his neighbors for YouTube views and now somehow finds himself trading punches with boxing royalty. The buildup was insane. Tyson wasn't just training it for the fight, he was on a PR blitz that had fans salivating. Footage showed him unleashing absolute fury on punching bags, moving like a man half his age, all while grunting phrases like, "Age is just a number."
But once he's in that ring, you have to fight like his life is dependent on it, because it will be.
I truly believe that there's a lot of people who, see me as an arrogant ass, which I can be sometimes, but I'm just having fun and entertaining the world.
And you know what? For a moment, we believed him. Analysts were glued to their screens. Twitter was a Tyson love fest, and even skeptics couldn't resist tuning in to see if the old lion could still roar. On paper, it had everything. The raw power of a boxing icon versus the brash confidence of a Gen Z sensation. It was nostalgia meeting modern spectacle, and everyone wanted to see the clash.
Ladies and gentlemen!
Then fight night came, and let's just say the buzz turned into an uncomfortable silence pretty quickly. The ring was packed with tension as Tyson entered, stoic as ever, while Jake Paul basked in the spotlight like he'd just won an Oscar. The first bell rang and fans leaned forward expecting Tyson to charge in like he used to remind the world why they called him Iron Mike. But nope, instead we got a Tyson who was cautious, defensive, dare I say the timid? Something was wrong.
So round 1 was supposed to go like this. The opening bell rings and Tyson, showing flashes of his old form, immediately stalks forward with his signature bob and weave style. Paul maintains distance, circling the ring cautiously. Tyson lands a few jabs, but Paul's youth shows in his superior ability.
By round 2, it wasn't just a hunch anymore. Tyson, the guy who used to bulldoze his way through legends, was now sidestepping punches like he was avoiding paying a parking ticket. Sure, there were glimmers of the old Tyson, a sharp jab here, a cheeky hook there, but they felt more like echoes than thunder. Meanwhile, Jake Paul, of all people, was getting bolder. He was throwing calculated punches, landing combos, and actually looking good. And that's not a compliment, it's an indictment. By round 3, the writing was on the wall. Tyson looked gassed, his punches lacked power, and his footwork resembled someone trying to find their way in the dark.
Jake, seeing the opportunity of a lifetime, went all in. Well, as all in as Jake Paul can go. The crowd's energy shifted, cheers turned into murmurs, and then into something worse, disappointment. By the end of it, the judges didn't even flinch when they declared Jake Paul the winner by unanimous decision. The kid from YouTube had just beaten the heavyweight legend. Let that sink in.
If I hadn't saw that, I would be worried that this fight may not...
The fallout was brutal. Fans who had idolized Tyson for decades weren't just disappointed, they felt cheated. Social media was on fire, and not in a good way. Some defended him, saying, "Hey, he's almost 60, give the man a break." Others were less kind, arguing he had no business stepping back into the ring in the first place. And then there were the conspiracy theorists, whispering that the whole thing might have been staged. Because let's be honest, it did look a little too convenient.
I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically. I don't have the stomach for this kind of no more. I'm more conscious of my children and those guys looking at my appearance. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Whatever the truth, one thing was painfully clear. Tyson's legacy took a hit that night, and not just in the ring. For years, he had been the symbol of raw, unstoppable power. Now he was something else entirely, a man who might have stayed too long at the party. And the sting of that fight would stick, not just for Tyson, but for everyone who had believed, even for a moment, that the old lion could still rule the jungle. And I am pretty sure you don't know about this news that hours before the highly anticipated Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, a suspicious little document began making the rounds on Twitter.
This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older